his route tree is pretty much unlimited. There's nothing that I don't see Malik Nabers doing.
Colton Hood as well. So a lot of good things that the Giants have done in the offseason. There's still certain things that they need to tinker with.
Going into the future, we're going to see them as a Super Bowl contending team sooner rather than later.
Hello, welcome to Football X's and O's. We'll be talking about the Giants and if they can be the version of the 2025 Patriots for the upcoming season. I'm Ryan Sewell. Alongside me is NFL expert David Scott. David, the Giants brought in John Harbaugh. They brought in a lot of guys from the draft, so things are looking good. So maybe they could be the next version of the Patriots.
Every year someone surprises us. Why can't it be the Giants?
All right, let's get a deeper look into the New York Giants. Obviously, they'll have Jaxson Dart for a second season. And obviously, Drake Maye, he led his team to a Super Bowl appearance. Coming off like not a great season in his rookie year. They only won 3 games, and the Giants last year, 4 games. So do you think that there's certain aspects that look similar from the Patriots from last year and the Giants entering this year?
There are a lot of eerie similarities. Yeah, you look at the side-by-side. Rookie quarterbacks, passing for around 2,200 yards. I believe their passing yardage totals 2 or 3 yards off of each other from their rookie seasons. Both threw 15 passing touchdowns, if you want to keep going on the similarities. Now, I will say Jaxson Dart did have a better rookie season than Drake Maye did. He had same passing touchdowns, but 5 less interceptions. He also had 9 rushing touchdowns compared to Drake Maye's 2 rushing touchdowns, but they did have a similar rushing yardage total. So you look at them, pretty all right in their rookie seasons, but needed some help around them. And I think Drake Maye got that in his sophomore season, got a nice coaching staff around him, and then they absolutely took off. Now, the Patriots did have that really nice schedule, which helped them out, and the Giants are not going to have the favor of that. But we look at the Giants, getting some nice pieces around Drake Maye. The defense looks really good. Nice new veteran head coach with the Super Bowl under his belt already in the building. So, hey, I think you're looking at some side-to-sides here, and if you had to pick someone to be that next Patriots, the 2026 version of the Patriots, I could totally see it being the Giants.
Yeah, they obviously got Malik Fields in the draft and then the defense. I feel like that was the big thing for the Giants to improve this offseason was to get better on that defensive side of the ball. And, they got Arvell Reese. He just fell to them at number 5. And, they brought in Colton Hood as well. So a lot of good things that the Giants have done in the offseason. But at the same time, I think that there's still certain things that they need to tinker with. And obviously with John Harbaugh in town, you got to at the same time feel confident that you're getting a guy that won a Super Bowl. It was always in playoff contention. They won 4 games last year. I could see them double that and possibly more.
Yeah, so I could totally see them doubling their win total, even going beyond that. You're in a division where the Eagles are not the same powerhouse that they once were. They're starting to falter. The Cowboys, very volatile. The worst defense in the league last year, definitely improved, but how much? And then the Commanders are just all over the place. So if Harbaugh can bring some stability to this team, really get his pieces clicking together, I could see them making a good run at the playoffs and maybe into that Super Bowl contention. But there's a lot left to be proven for sure.
And for the Patriots, entering last year, they put so much money on their team. They had a lot of cap space last year. So they got Harold Landry. They got a bunch of guys, Milton Williams. So for the Giants, what they really did was they shored up more of that offensive line, bringing Francis Mayunoa in the draft. Obviously, they Illuminor they kept as well. So that offensive line was pretty solid last year. So they solidified that even more. And obviously the tight end likely they got from the Ravens. Obviously Harbaugh played a huge part in that probably. So they're definitely they know what they have in Jaxson Dart. And I feel like Cam Scatterboo coming back, maybe end of September, early October. I feel like that's the thing with the offense. I feel like I want to see some things with that offense that we really didn't see full games out of them. We only saw 2 quarters, 3 quarters, and that was it. I feel like with the offense, you have to see a full game out of them this upcoming year.
Yeah, also, we really haven't seen a lot of this offense healthy together.
Yeah.
Malik Nabers goes down with that big injury. Cam Scatterboo goes down with that big injury. So Jaxson Dart really hasn't gotten to play with the full Giants offense around him. So I think if we start to see that whole team come together, we're going to start to see what they're really capable of. Last year, I think Dart had a pretty solid run with limited options around him. Get everyone back. Let's see what he can do. And I think the weapons surrounding Dart are better than the weapons that were surrounding Maye last year.
Yeah, they have Stephon Diggs, Mac Hollins. There really wasn't too many options for Drake Maye. I feel like Drake Maye elevated his talent. I feel like Jaxson Dart could do the same thing for the upcoming season. All right, show us what you're going to be doing for the board.
All right, let's start by taking a look at our Giants offense, some different formations they could throw out there, some different potential plays that they could throw out there. And let's start by looking at our personnel. So to start, we know Malik Nabers is our #1 wide receiver. You look at your number 2, it's between Malachi Fields and Darius Slayton. I think Slayton is going to be your number 2. Fields is a later round pick. I'm not quite sure of his capabilities yet, so we'll put Slayton here, and then Fields, I guess, in our slot kind of role. But we'll learn more about this as we learn in training camp and what John Harbaugh wants to do with his team and what Matt Nagy thinks of his players. And then we know that we have Jaxson Dart down here and Cam Scatabo. Come on, there we go. And then Isaiah Likely over in our tight end position. And that could also be Theo Johnson.
Yeah.
They have other options, but this is what it's probably going to look like. Now, looking at this, there's some pretty standard things that we can do. We know who Malik Nabers is. We know he is a true top wide receiver. You're a true X, someone that can really just go out there and do whatever you want from him. He is your deep option, as he's got the speed. He's also your contested catch option. Come back on some of those comeback routes. But then, he could be running posts across the field. He could be going to the outside. His route tree is pretty much unlimited. There's nothing that I don't see Malik Nabers doing. Darius Slayton, this is a more limited kind of receiver. Yeah. This is a guy that, again, that streak, just because it's an easy route to run. But then we're going to look at more slants, more in-cutting routes, those short and easy routes that just be that other option for when Nabers isn't available. And then Fields. I'm still really up in the air on Fields on what his capabilities are. And for right now, let's just look at him as a true slot receiver, just kind of mimicking or mirroring what Slayton's doing on the other side of the field. So just that short stuff. That's really all it is going to be with him. Maybe a little comeback stuff.
Yeah.
And then we know Scat and Dart. And then Likely, again, this is kind of an X factor on the field because Likely was always kind of stuck behind Mark Andrews, couldn't really fully shine as a top tight end. Again, Theo Johnson's going to be there, so there's going to be some competition. But Likely is a guy who is a huge contested catch target. This is real messy. We'll break this into individual plays as we go. Contested catch target, get over across the middle of the field, go into the corner of the end zone. Likely is a huge option. And then on top of all that, you got the rushing ability of Scat and Dart. So a lot of stuff going on here. Let's erase a bit and look back at it. But we got a couple guys with really strong capabilities here that Dart is going to have the ability to find throughout this offense.
And we didn't mention Darnell Mooney can be in this offense too. So I feel like he would be on the field over Fields because, let's face it, there's certain things that he can work on. He's only a third-round pick, right? So I feel like Mooney, I think he'll be the top 2, top 3 wide receiver in this offense. And then maybe you could see Fields throughout the season. All
right, well, let's switch up this formation a little bit and talk about what else we could see out of this team. Now, this is just your standard, 3 wide receiver, 1 tight end set. What if we, 2 tight ends, Theo Johnson and Isaiah Likely out here? What if we run block? You would just be more of a stunt out here. Block. All right. And all of a sudden, we got tight end motion coming across with the ball, blockers in front of you. Isaiah Likely is the kind of tight end where you can run those motions, hand off, pitch it to him, get up the field, maybe a short yardage situation, red zone. Here's one weapon that we're going to utilize in a very exciting and new way under Mr. Harbaugh and Mr. Nagy. Now, you could kind of think about, not current Travis Kelce, but Travis Kelce of old doing those kind of things. Certainly he's not capable of that anymore, but he used to be the kind of guy who could take that ball and just run it from anywhere. I also let's go back to our, let's go 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. And I want 2 running backs.
Okay.
This is where we can get really exciting with things because we got Scat, we got Dart, and Tyrone Tracy still on this team.
Yeah.
Tyrone Tracy is no running back to scoff at. We got 3 running backs in the backfield pretty much. You can just mess around with this all you like. All right, Tracy's coming across for the run. No, he's not because Scat's actually going to come and take it. Or, that was terrible racing. Or play action. I would rather play action with Scat, actually. Play action, Scat coming up for the handoff. Nope, Tracy's actually coming around. Screenplay, blockers, use our motion, get up the field, whatever. With the weapons that we've got here, I think we have a very versatile offense with a much improved offensive line group when you bring Francis Maui-Noah in, with some good receiving weapons. I think Matt Nagy, while we know he's not the most versatile of offensive coordinators, I think he's got a lot to work with to bring some exciting looks, to really just shake things up and just try some things. I mean, you've got just here alone between Dart and Scadaboo, one of the most exciting groups just of two people in the league. You throw in a Malik Nabers, an Isaiah Likely, a Darnell Mooney, a Slayton, a Fields, whatever. There's a lot to work with here.
Yeah, I think name of the game for the Giants is going to be physicality. I mean, Harbaugh, that's what he preaches, like offensive side of the ball and defense. Like, I think Matt Noah even said it, like, I'm going to die for my quarterback. Like, you're going to be seeing a lot of great run blocking out of him. And honestly, they got Ricard, I think, as their fullback too. So they're looking really good in terms of that physicality aspect on the New York offense. Defensive side, I think there's still little things that I don't love on that side of the ball, and you're facing high-powered offenses in the NFC. Like, for instance, Dexter Lawrence is not going to be with the Giants. Obviously, they traded him away to Cincinnati. So there are certain things I don't love. The cornerbacks as well. I do like Hood, but at Adebo, I'm not really loving with him. And then the safety group. But there's certain things on the defensive side that I actually don't like. Their front is amazing, obviously. We didn't even mention Burns. We didn't mention all these guys, Carter. That front is going to dictate a lot of things, I think, on both sides of the football field.
Yeah, and let's not forget, the Patriots' defense last year was not a good defense. In fact, I would say they were a bad defense, and they made it to the Super Bowl. So, anything can happen when you look at the front that the Giants have. Yeah, Burns, Carter. Now we got Arvell Reese in there. Thibodeau is still on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So they have game-wrecking ability on the defensive front that will hopefully make up for some of those inconsistencies in the secondary. But I'm much less concerned about the Giants' defense this year than the Patriots' defense last year.
Oh, especially because they got Arvell Reese in that building now. He's so versatile. You can ask him to do everything on that defense. And Tremaine Edmonds, I mean, he's a veteran that you have to like. So defensively, I do like it. Obviously better than last year. I still think there's certain things I don't love. Offensively, I think the big thing is going to be that offensive front. I think the offensive line made strides. I mean, we've seen Giants teams that they don't help their quarterback at all. Last year, we saw a little bit of better things out of that front. And obviously, when it comes to Jaxson Dart and company, they have to stay healthy as well.
Yeah, and I also think a very underrated aspect of any football team is chemistry. Mm-hmm. A lot of these guys on the offense absolutely love each other. Dart and Scadaboo are best friends. I know Nabers is starting to get involved. This team, I think they gel really well. You've got a head coach who a lot of people easily rally behind now in Harbaugh. So I think this team is going to have great chemistry. They're going to want to play for each other. They're going to want to play for their head coach, and that can produce really good results on the football field.
Yeah, the Giants are going to be playing the Cowboys week 1. Obviously, going to play them again later in the season, the Eagles twice. Do you see the Giants being a playoff team this year? I know we had an episode talking about the Cowboys. They could be a playoff team. Obviously, there can only be so many playoff teams in the NFC. So do you think the Giants are going to make major strides and possibly make it into the dance?
I think they're going to take huge strides, and I think there's a chance that they make it into the playoffs. I would go, the floor of this team is probably like 6 wins.
Yeah.
I would say, let's say 6 is the floor. Mm-hmm. But I think your ceiling is like 10 or 11 wins.
Oh, wow.
And if you get in the upper range of that win total, yeah, you're probably going to be a playoff team. But I think in reality, they probably land at the 8 or 9 win range. And that's 8 wins, you're not making it in. 9, it's really fringe of whether you're not making it in. So I would say 8 or 9 wins, possibly they make the playoffs. But most importantly is that they're going to be in a really good position, I think, for 2027.
Yeah, I know a lot of Giants fans don't like to be patient. I mean, I can't blame them. They've lost a lot these last few years, actually, last decade. But I got to say, they won 4 games last year. Why not double it? 8 wins. Yes, you don't make the playoffs at an 8-9 record, but, you got to make some strides. And in order to make some strides, you'll still take your losses. But, hey, I think this is an up-and-coming group for next year and beyond, 2027, 2028. You want to see some strides for an offense, and you want to see, obviously, everyone to stay healthy.
Yeah, they might not end up being this year's New England Patriots, but I think going into the future, we're going to see them as a Super Bowl contending team sooner rather than later.
All right, let's wrap things up here. Football X's and O's. You can watch us every Monday. We also have other offseason content. Please like and subscribe and let us know in the comments what you think of the 2026 New York Giants.